So it's 2021, and my life is probably at its worst point so far. I just started going to a new high school, and I don't really have any friends there, which is making me pretty depressed. At the same time, I'm having this crisis for the last year where I want to strive for something, I want to chase some sort of goal because I feel like I have so much potential and energy, but I just don't know what to pursue and I don't know what to chase. And of course, the thing which is absolutely not helping me, which is making the whole situation even worse, is the fact that my social skills are at such a low level that every time I leave the house, I get struck with the level of anxiety that the average person experiences when they're going and taking their finals or something like that. And one of the biggest turning points during that time was one realization or one thing that I learned, and that was social skills are a skill which can be improved just like a video game or playing an instrument or some sort of sport. And so the biggest kind of turning point then was in 2022, the beginning, early 2022, when I figured out how to actually start improving them. What I did specifically was this challenge called the 100 Random Interactions in 30 Days Challenge, which is a challenge where you approach on average around 3 strangers per day for 30 days, 3 to 4, and after 30 days, once you've spoken to 100 random people, your social skills, in theory, go like skyrocket to an absolutely new plane of existence, right? If you want to learn more about this, you can check out my course, first link in the description. But basically, I ended up going and doing that and really smashing it out the 100 interactions, just not in 1 month. It took me more like 3 to 4 months. But I remember that time, which I think it was from March 2022 till around beginning of summer. That was like the most productive time I've had in my life for the first time ever because I was actually doing something which was improving my life, which was productive, and where there was like a goal that I was chasing. And it was really scary. There was tons of anxiety, there was tons of fear and stress, and it was not easy or comfortable. But that was the exact reason that it gave me so much improvement and so much knowledge and improved my social skills so rapidly because of the fact that it was so uncomfortable. Because video games or social skills are just like video games. Just like any other skill, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it, right? You don't get better at it from just looking at other people do it, from looking at other people saying you or telling you how to do it. You get better by just putting yourself out in the field and just speaking to some strangers, turning off your brain, stopping overthinking, like I don't know what to say, whatever, and just walking up to them and being like, hello, how's your day going? As simple as that. Now, of course, the next step above that, once you've done that a decent bit of time, is to start reading some books on the topic and actually start watching YouTube videos and taking courses. This is kind of like you can imagine a multiplier, right? Like in video games, when you have a high score and when you have a multiplier going, the high score goes even quicker. Every single little piece of knowledge that you learned from a book or a video is kind of like the multiplier, right? If, for example, now every single new person that you go and you cold approach and you speak to is one experience point. Once you've learned, let's say, from a book that you should maintain eye contact when you speak to people, now every new person you speak is 2 points. Then you learn that your posture should actually be up straight and you should speak with kind of more charisma and louder. Now it's 4 points. And you keep learning new and more things to the point where every single person who you speak to is giving you way more experience because you're not just going and getting the experience of speaking to a person, you're getting the experience of speaking to a person with the mannerisms and the habits and kind of just the charisma of a very social, outgoing person. And a good rule of thumb, of course, to remember on this journey, but to remember any real journey of improvement, is discomfort should be your friend. The more you chase comfort, the less you will improve. As I said, my biggest years of improvement or months of improvement were those first few months where all I was doing was go to school and literally just spend all day stressing out about who I was gonna cold approach and barely cold approach like maybe 1 or 2 people a day. I was not cold approaching 3 people a day, by the way. It was maybe 1 to two at most. And sometimes I had like a full week where I wouldn't cold approach anyone, which just goes to show you how actually hard and uncomfortable it was for me back in the day. But that's the exact reason that took me, that exact exercise, those few months took me from 0 to 1. If you can imagine just the biggest difference between any numbers, right? I think this was like some mathematical thing, whatever. It's like from 0 to 1 is the biggest difference. Then from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to whatever. This is the exercise. This is the thing that took me from 0 to 1. And the only reason it was able to take me there in maybe 2, 3 months was because of just sheer discomfort, how uncomfortable it is. Now I do a lot of things to improve my social skills. Of course, I speak to strangers, I speak to girls, I try using these different things which I learned, but now I'm gonna be honest, nothing, no social interaction can ever come even 10% as close to being as uncomfortable and stressful as those random interactions and cold approaches were back 3.5 years ago. And that's the exact reason that that time gave me so much improvement, because it was the scariest and the most anxious time of my communication skills improvement journey that I've had from beginning to this point where I am right now. I want you to imagine something really quickly. I want you to imagine your social skills right now. Imagine how you act when you need to speak to strangers, how you act when you need to speak to an attractive girl, how you act when you need to go up on stage and speak to a ton of people. And now I want you to imagine yourself doing the exact same thing, right? Speaking to people, girls, on stage, but doing it with this absolute perfect charisma. Like imagine the absolute best public speaker, the most social person you know. Could be a celebrity, could be your friend, it could be a TV character or some anime character. But imagine yourself going around and kind of navigating your social life in the same way that that person does it. With this absolute confidence, with this absolute charisma, with no fear, no anxiety, where you can just cold approach a group of 10 out of 10 girls and speak to them for like 20 minutes on the street and then get one of their numbers. Imagine getting that perfect social life, getting into that perfect social flow where all of these things, which maybe even seem like crazy or supernatural to you, are absolutely possible and are at your fingertips, are in your grasp. This is what improving your social skills will get you to. It's a hard journey and it will take months or maybe even years, but that's what I made this channel for, and that's what you have books for and podcasts, and of course, that's why there's so many people out on the street who you can just cold approach every single day and just speak to. So that's what I encourage you to do. Start just speaking to more people, learning, and then using that information that you learned when speaking to other people. If you truly want to take your social skills and communication skills to the next level in the shortest amount of time possible and in the simplest way possible, and you want to learn the absolute 10 out of 10 best information which I have learned and gathered through 3.5 years of studying this topic, but also having experience and putting that studying and that knowledge into practice, you can check out the first link in the description, which will take you to my course. This is the foolproof blueprint that I have created for you to take your communication skills, social skills, confidence to the absolute maximum dream level. If you found this video helpful, I think you'll find a lot of value in this video right here. Click on the subscribe button and do the work.